And we're back with part 2 of my 2018 VidCon recap. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend watching it first. It's pretty cool, and you'll have a better understanding of what's going on in this video. We've already covered the first 3 days of my trip, so now we're gonna jump right on into day 4. After having breakfast with Dane, because he had to leave early, sad face, David and I walked around the expo hall meeting more of you guys. I'm talking slow so I can get more pictures in. P.S. I had been given a full access pass at this point. So early on in that day while I was meeting all of you, I began to hear that the Animation Squad Q&A panel with James, Jade, and Dom that was scheduled for 5:30 was already starting to line up. There were some rumors that some people were starting to line up as early as 10 in the morning. That was a little concerning, especially because I was planning on going to that panel, but I tried not to worry about it. In the afternoon, David and I went up to the YouTuber Creator Lounge to rest, and we finally found Jaden. Here she is, you were all asking about her in the last video, we found her, mystery solved. In fact, a lot of people that we knew were walking around in that lounge, and it was nice to just casually talk to everyone. A major highlight for me was meeting Aaron Hansen from the Game Grumps, and I didn't even know he was at VidCon. He was so kind, and even subscribed to my channel right there. He also knew about my animation school ringling, which I thought was really cool. After a while, Jaden, I, and some others decided to go to the Instagram lounge because it was quieter and had lots of free sugary things. And Dave from Boy in a Band was there, and Rumi was there, and Dom was there. At one point, I excused myself to go to the restroom, but I never made it there because as I was walking out, James, Matt, Pat, and Steph were walking in, and of course, I had to stop and talk to them. My bladder can wait! I actually ended up holding that pee for a really long time, but it was worth it because Matt, Pat, and Steph are so much fun to talk to, and they're full of life wisdom. About 30 minutes before the panel was going to start, James and Maz decided to go early, and not long after, we all followed Jaden to the panel as well. I was hoping that I could stand off to the side in the room and watch the panel, but I soon learned that that was wishful thinking. We arrived and found Adam backstage with Maz, while James was already on stage reading from his book to the audience. Jaden walked in, the crowd went wild, and Adam and I stood next to the security door in the corner. Instantly, we were noticed by the front 2 sections of the audience, and kids started jumping up and down and screaming our names and waving fan art and running up to the barricades asking us to sign things. I will say I was flattered by the enthusiasm. Kind of made me feel like a rock star. Though it was clear to me and Adam that we weren't going to be able to stand there and listen to the panel without being a distraction or causing a ruckus, so we went back through the security door. Dom showed up last. He was on time. Inconsiderate. So the panel finally began. But that's when the head security woman started talking to us about how much of a security issue this panel had become. So you're the panel that's been causing all the trouble. We are? She explained that many people had been turned away after waiting hours to get into this panel, and the energy of the crowd both inside and especially outside of the room was getting kinda rambunctious. In fact, she said that they hadn't seen a security issue like that since they did a Black Sabbath concert. Our fans equal heavy metal concert. What are your parents feeding you guys? The head security woman told me and Adam to stay out of sight of the audience, and no one in our group was allowed to go through the doors that led to the main area. She really started building up this situation, giving us a play-by-play of what was going to happen the moment the panel ended, like we were Secret Service agents or something. She even told us that there was a chance there could be a breach on the security doors. Things were beginning to feel a little bit tense. 10 minutes before the end of the panel, we all started getting ready to move, and security guards positioned themselves on both sides of the stage. And the second the panel was over, security guards grabbed James, Jaden, and Dom and dragged them to the security door while dozens of kids started rushing the stage. James, being James, quickly ran up to the barricade and grabbed the first thing he could from an audience member, much to the dismay of his security guard, and Jaden nearly tripped over herself trying to pick up fan art that had been thrown at her. But as soon as they were through the door, a security guard shouted, "Run!" And we all started booking it down the backstage hallway. This was just in case of the aforementioned breach on the security doors. But nothing happened, everything was okay, and when it was clear we were safe, we slowed to a walk. We were all starting to come down from that intense moment, so James looked at the fan art that he had grabbed from the audience. He said, "I grabbed the first thing I could, and it's something for Rebecca." For me? Oh my gosh! So whoever drew this, your drawing now holds a special place in my heart as the ultimate souvenir from this panel. Security put us on shuttles and sent us off to the YouTuber hotel. I mean, David and I weren't staying there, but we were like, well, whatever. When we got there, we ran into Hank Green, the founder of VidCon. James, Jaden, Adam, and I stood there explaining to him what just happened at the panel and also what happened at the animation community meetup the day before. I'm pretty sure he had already been briefed on what happened, but he listened to us and took it very seriously. He promised that changes would be made for next year to better accommodate our fans. I want to take this moment to apologize to anybody who had a bad experience at the panel or at the meetup. I don't think VidCon, or we for that matter, expected this much enthusiasm for the animation community. But I will say thank you so much for showing how much you cared. It really means the world to us, and we will do what we can to make next year better for everyone. After all of this, a lot of us went over to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner, and that's where I met Ross from the Game Grumps and Commander Holly. We all scrunched into one of those corner booths, and it was a great way to decompress after such a chaotic day. Okay, so day 5 was just me, David, and Ryder going to Disneyland and having fun. At one point, we met up with Draw with Jazza, Rumi, and Emma Blackery, and Jazza made a really great vlog of that day. If you want to see it, I'll leave a link in the description below. Though I do have to mention, when I was in line for the Haunted Mansion, one of you tweeted me saying that you were there, and I tweeted back, "Me too." But when I got off the ride, 3 of you were waiting for me at the exit. Expert sleuthing skills, my explainers. And that's pretty much it. Wow, what a VidCon. Thank you so much to everybody who came up to me and said hello. I'm pretty sure I met over 1,000 of you, and I'm sorry to anybody else I missed. VidCon continues to be the highlight of my year, and I can't wait to meet more of you next year. Thank you so much for tuning in, but now I gotta tune out. Bye!